Hello students, in the last class we completed the second law of thermodynamics and also entropy. What is the meaning of a entropy? It is a measure of disorderliness or randomness of a system. Okay, so in a system, due to increasing of randomness or disorderness of atoms or molecules, its entropy what happens increases. Are you getting my point? Now, if you compare solids, liquids, and gases, in gaseous state, more disorderness, more randomness of atoms or molecules are present. That's why the gaseous substance has more entropy as compared to the liquids and solids. Okay. Now, in this today's class, we are going to discuss a very important topic regarding the calculation of change in entropy. Regarding the calculation of change in entropy in a different processes. Okay, now we know entropy is a state function, yes, which depend upon the initial state and final state of the system, but it is independent on the path of the transformation through which the process occurs. Okay, let's suppose consider a process. Let's suppose this is A to B one process. In this process, what will be the change in entropy? That is the final entropy minus initial entropy. Okay, now if the process is spontaneous, that means randomness increases. Spontaneous process, it is a process which occurs on its own. All the processes occur in nature are spontaneous, and in this reaction, the randomness or change in entropy increases. Yes or no? So, as the randomness, disorderness of a system increases, then entropy also increases. That means change in the entropy become positive. That means final entropy more than the initial entropy. That's why entropy change is positive. Are you getting my point? When it will happen? When the randomness increases or disorderness of a system increases. Similarly, when we say a process is a non-spontaneous process, if the randomness or disorderness of a system what happens decreases, that means entropy decreases. That means final entropy will be less than the initial entropy. That means final entropy less than the initial entropy. That means the change in entropy value negative, less than 0. Are you getting my point? So these are the two important conditions we have to remember. The first condition will be the when a process becomes spontaneous, if the change in entropy is positive, that means greater than 0. When a process is said to be non-spontaneous, if the change in entropy, that will be delta S, that will be negative or less than 0. Are you getting my point? Now what about the in case of a reversible process? What is the meaning of a reversible process? It is a process which occurs in both forward as well as backward direction. Okay, let's suppose A gives B and simultaneously B gives A. This is a reversible reaction. Okay, in a reversible reaction, in forward direction as well as in the reverse direction, both the reactions are spontaneous. That's why, so both the reactions, in both the reactions, the change in entropy becomes what? 0. The change in entropy becomes what? 0. So for any reversible reaction, what will be the change in the entropy? That will be delta S equal to 0. So these are the three cases. First case non-spontaneous, spontaneous case, delta S greater than 0. Second case non-spontaneous case, delta S value less than 0. And the third case reversible reactions where the change in entropy equal to 0. Okay. Now what is the mathematical equation for the entropy calculation? Now entropy calculation ds will be equal to dq upon T, where the heat absorbed here reversibly, at a constant temperature T. Okay. Now it is also represented as a delta S equal to integral of dq by T. Okay. Now we know entropy is a state function. So change in entropy we can calculate. Okay. Now here integrating on both sides here, integral ds will be equal to S, and if you put the limits, lower limit to S1, upper limit lower limit 1, upper limit 2, so S2 minus S1, that will be the change in entropy delta S will be equal to integral of dq reversible by T. Are you getting my point? Now here delta q or dq, it is a state function only for reversible process. Generally, do you know path function, work and heat? Work is a which function? Path function, and heat is also which function? Path function. Okay, path dependent function. But here the heat exchange reversible phenomena, in a reversible process it is a state function. Why we are called it is a state function? Because here the path is defined. Here the path is defined. Okay, in a reversible path, remember, in a reversible path, in a reversible process there will be only one path. Okay, that means when we are moving from A to B in a forward direction, suppose if it is a reversible reaction, there will be only one path to return back from B to A. That is the only one path. So there will be no any other path because it is a reversible reaction. That means in which path we are going from A to B, that will be the same path to return back from B to A. So that's why in a reversible process, the heat exchange, that will be the dq or delta q, will be considered as a what? State function. This is only valid for reversible process. But in case of irreversible process, we can define more than one path. In that case, dq is not a state function. Are you getting my point? And one more important point, suppose if the temperature increases. Let's suppose if the temperature increases. What about the kinetic energy? Increases. When kinetic energy increases, randomness or disorderness also increases. When the randomness, disorderness increases, entropy is also increases. That means finally we can conclude entropy is directly proportional to absolute temperature. Entropy is directly proportional to absolute temperature. But remember, from this expression, if you see the entropy change here, delta S, and the temperature, if you observe, both are inversely proportional here. Okay, now what is the logic behind here? Now if you see delta S, that is the change in the entropy, it is not a entropy, it is a change in entropy is inversely proportional to the temperature. What is the meaning of this one? That means if you supply the same amount of heat, let's suppose if you supply the same amount of heat, when you supply the same amount of heat at low temperature, there will be more degree of freedom, more randomness, more disorderness as compared to the same amount of heat supplied at high temperature. Are you getting my point? That means what I am concluding here, at low temperature, the change in entropy will be high. Change in entropy will be high as compared to high temperature. At high temperature, change in entropy will be low. Are you getting my point? That means at high temperature already entropy will be very high, because as the temperature increases, kinetic energy increases, randomness increases, so that entropy increases. So already at high temperature entropy already very high, so even are already very high, therefore heat addition will not much increase in the entropy. That means only a small amount of entropy will increases at high temperature. So this is the actual difference between the directly proportional to inversely proportional. Okay, here entropy directly proportional to temperature, but the change in entropy inversely proportional to temperature. This is very important. Okay, when same amount of heat is applied to a system, the change in entropy will be very high at where? Low temperature. Change in entropy will be very high at low temperature as compared to the change in entropy at as compared to the high temperature. That means at high temperature the change in entropy will be low, but whereas the low temperature the change in entropy will be high. That means indirectly the change in entropy and absolute temperature are inversely proportional to each other. Are you getting my point? Now what is the entropy calculation? That is the change in entropy in a isolated system. Now generally isolated system, neither matter nor energy exchanges with surrounding. Yes or no? Now it is if the process is spontaneous phenomena, delta S equal to ds equal to dq upon t. This is a reversible process. Are you getting my point? Now here the change in entropy of a system will be greater than 0. The change in entropy of a system will be greater than 0. When the change in entropy of a system is greater than 0, we can conclude the process will be what? Spontaneous process. Okay, in a isolated system, if the process is spontaneous, then obviously the change in entropy become what? Greater than 0. So here no matter of the surroundings, because we have to consider both system and surrounding entropy, that will be equal to total entropy, that is nothing but universe entropy. But in case of an isolated system, so isolated system, we should not consider the surroundings entropy. Are you getting my point? Because this is completely isolated, that means it is no matter exchanges and no energy exchanges with the surroundings, so we should not consider the surroundings. Only in this case we have to consider the system, that is the change in entropy of the system. Now in case of a non-ideal system, that means the entropy should be consider both system as well as surrounding. So system plus surroundings nothing but universe, that means the total. Okay, now delta S system plus delta S surrounding will be equal to delta S total or delta S universe. Okay, now suppose if the process is spontaneous process, when this process is spontaneous process, so we should say the total entropy greater than 0, the total entropy will be positive. Remember, we should not say only delta S system or delta S surrounding. Put together delta S system plus delta S surrounding, that will be delta S total or delta S universe, that must be greater than 0. That must be greater than 0. Are you getting my point? This is a irreversible process. That means the process which occurs only in one direction. We know in all naturally occurring processes, thermodynamically irreversible and change in entropy is positive. Change in entropy is positive. This is the nothing but the second law of thermodynamics. Second law of thermodynamics. Now entropy of a universe is always increases provided that all the processes are irreversible. Now whatever the changes occur in the surrounding with respect to the system, the entropy of a surroundings always increases. That means the overall entropy of a universe, what happens? Increases. Okay, provided the condition will be what? The process must be irreversible. If the process will be reversible, the change in entropy become what? 0. If the process is non-spontaneous, that means the process, if the process is the reversible process, change in entropy become 0. If the process is irreversible process, then only the change in entropy become positive, that means entropy increases. Okay, now we are taking one example here, H2O liquid and H2O solid. Do you know the solid state of water is called ice? Okay, now this is water, this is a water ice system. Now here the question here, when water become ice, what happens? When water becomes ice, what happens? It loses heat energy. Yes, water loses heat energy to give solid ice. If the reverse reaction, backward reaction, if you see, that is the ice to give water, that means ice has to absorb the heat energy from the surroundings. Okay, so remember, whenever the heat energy absorbed or lost, we have to consider the sign. Okay, in case of water to ice, heat must be lost by the water. When the heat is lost, that means we can take the delta Q, that will be the dq or delta Q sign will be negative. Okay, in that case we can say the entropy of a system will be the negative. It is always negative. Why it is always negative? Because here system loses energy. When system loses energy, that means Q value negative sign, that's why the entropy of a system is negative. Remember, when you kept the ice cubes in the open container in an open container in the atmosphere, do you know ice melt to give water? Yes. Is it a spontaneous phenomena? Yes, it is spontaneous phenomena. But here you are getting the delta S value negative. That means delta S value negative means the process should be non-spontaneous. No, the delta S total should be greater than 0. That will be the condition for the spontaneity. Are you getting my point? Now, here, let's suppose I am taking the minus 1 degree Celsius temperature. Do you know at minus 1 degree centigrade temperature, this reaction is spontaneous or not? Yes. Water freezes to give ice? Yes, this is a spontaneous phenomena. But whereas if the temperature is 1 degree Celsius, that means water, that means ice will melt to give water. That means at 1 degree centigrade temperature, do you know ice melt to give water? That means the backward reaction is spontaneous. That means the forward reaction is non-spontaneous. The forward reaction is non-spontaneous in the sense backward reaction is spontaneous. If the forward reaction is spontaneous means the reverse reaction is non-spontaneous. Are you getting my point? Are you getting my point? Okay, that means here temperature is important. If the minus 1 degree Celsius temperature, ice, water freezes to give ice, that means forward reaction feasible, that is the spontaneous phenomena. If the temperature is 1 degree Celsius, then what happens? Ice slowly melt to give the water, that is a backward reaction. Now at 0 degree Celsius, what happens? We know water, liquid state and solid state both are exist at 0 degree Celsius temperature, nothing but 273 Kelvin. Do you know the freezing point of water 0 degree Celsius, or the melting point of ice also 0 degree Celsius, nothing but 273 Kelvin. Here this process will be the reversible process. Which process it is? It is reversible process. Okay. Now the condition for a spontaneous reaction. What is the condition for spontaneous reaction? Delta S total should be greater than 0. Otherwise delta S system plus delta S surrounding should be greater than 0. This is the necessary condition for any reaction to be spontaneous. But it is not the necessary condition. Only delta S system should be greater than 0. Okay, it is not the necessary condition. Suppose if the delta S system will be positive, but the delta S surrounding may be negative. So that if the negative value will be more dominating than the positive value, finally you will get the resultant delta S total value less than 0. That means again the process become non-spontaneous. Are you getting my point? So the condition for the spontaneity, the delta S total means delta S system plus delta S surrounding put together greater than 0. Remember, only delta S system greater than 0, it is not the condition for the spontaneity. What is the condition for the spontaneity? Both delta S plus delta S system plus delta S surrounding, nothing but delta S total, should be positive. Then only the process will be 100%, we can say, spontaneous. Okay. With the help of one example, I will explain. Let's suppose I am taking the water and ice system. Let's suppose I am taking the temperature minus 1 degree Celsius. That means minus 1 degree Celsius means 272 Kelvin. Now this is the experimental data. The entropy change of the system minus 21.85, and the entropy change of the surroundings plus 21.93, and the entropy of the total, that means the system plus surrounding, that will be plus 0.08. Now you see here the system entropy value negative, surrounding entropy value positive, but the overall entropy value positive. That means here the first step, the first condition, if you see, this is a condition for the spontaneity, because the overall entropy should be positive. Overall entropy should be positive. That means at atmospheric pressure, it is always assumed to be constant. Even though if that pressure is not given, we have to consider atmospheric pressure. Okay. Now we are concentrating on the temperature only. Now what is the temperature here? Minus 1 degree Celsius. Minus 1 degree Celsius. Now we are seeing water to ice. Do you know at minus 1 degree Celsius water freezes to ice? Yes. That means the forward reaction favors. That means in the forward direction the system loses heat energy. Yes. That means Q value negative. When the Q value negative, that means delta S system will be negative. Delta S system will be what? Negative. But the delta S surrounding is positive. Delta S surrounding is positive. Here the positive value dominating the negative value. So overall delta S total will become positive. When the delta S total become positive, the process is said to be spontaneous. Okay. This is the first case when the temperature is minus 1 degree Celsius. Okay. Let's suppose I am taking the third case, that will be the plus 1 degree Celsius temperature. That means here I am taking the case 2. We will discuss the 0 degree centigrade in the case 3. Okay. Now in the second case, what we are doing here? We are considering the temperature 1 degree Celsius. Now 1 degree Celsius, what is the entropy of the system? Minus 22.13. and the surroundings plus 22.05 units will be joule per mole per Kelvin. Okay. Now you see at 1 degree Celsius, do you know ice melt to give water? That means the backward reaction favorable. In the sense forward reaction is non-spontaneous, backward reaction is spontaneous. Okay. Now again in this case you see the if you water to become ice, it has to lose energy, that means q value negative. So here also delta S system is negative. Okay, but the delta S surrounding is positive, so the positive value is exceeding the dominating the negative value. So overall if you add the total entropy, that is the delta S system plus delta S surrounding, you will get what? Sorry, here the negative value dominating over the positive value, because if you see the data, the negative value here minus 22.13, which is dominating the plus 22.05. So overall you are getting the negative value. When the delta is total value negative, we can conclude this process is non-spontaneous. Yes or no? Whereas the delta is total positive, we can conclude this will be a spontaneous. Are you getting my point? Now come to the third case, that means if the temperature value 0 degree Celsius or 273 Kelvin. Just now I told you at 0 degree centigrade or 273 Kelvin, both water and ice will be exist in the equilibrium. That means it is a reversible process. In case of a reversible process, what will be the change in the entropy? That will be equal to 0. That will be equal to 0. So if you see the entropy data of a system minus 21.99 and surrounding plus 21.99, so system plus surrounding will be equal to what? 0. So finally what I am concluding here, the necessary condition for any process to be spontaneous, delta S total. We have to see which entropy change value we have to see, delta S total. Okay. So if the delta S total value greater than 0, then only the process become what? Spontaneous. Okay. If the delta S total value less than 0, then the process will be non-spontaneous. Are you getting my point? So this is the final conclusion. So only with the help of delta S system, only with the help of delta S surrounding, we could not conclude the given process will be spontaneous or not. Only we have to see the delta S total. After the delta S total value only we can conclude whether the given process is spontaneous or non-spontaneous. Are you getting my point? Now we are going to calculating the change in entropy in a isothermal reversible process. How the entropy value changes in isothermal reversible process? Now temperature is what in isothermal process? Constant. That means let's suppose system loses how much of heat energy? Q. When system loses the Q amount of energy, then surroundings what they do? They absorb the same amount of heat energy. That means with respect to system, the Q value will be negative. So delta S will be is equal to Q upon T, that will be minus Q upon T. That means overall you are getting the negative sign of the entropy in case of system. But whereas in case of surrounding, if you see in case of surrounding, how much of heat energy loses system? Minus Q. That amount of heat energy absorbed by whom? Surrounding. So it is plus Q by T at a constant temperature. Okay. Now from these two expressions we can conclude the entropy, change in entropy of a system will be equal to change in entropy of a surrounding with opposite sign. With what? Opposite sign. Remember, this is valid for every reversible process. For every reversible process, the change in entropy of a system will be equal to opposite sign of the, that is the negative sign of the change in entropy of the surroundings. Are you getting my point? Now, so overall, what will be the change in the entropy? That will be equal to 0, because system entropy, surrounding entropy gets cancelled. So overall entropy of the total universe will be what? 0. Remember. Okay. Remember, system entropy not equal to 0. Surrounding entropy is also not equal to 0. But the overall entropy of the universe here is 0. This is corresponding to isothermal reversible process. Okay. Now come to adiabatic reversible process. In a adiabatic process, do you know Q value 0? That means no heat exchanges between system and surrounding. That means in case of a reversible process, remember it is only for reversible process. In case of a reversible process, the change in entropy of a system, in case of a reversible process, we can say delta S system will be equal to Q reversible system upon T. So no heat exchanges between system and surrounding. That's why delta S system will be equal to 0, and delta S surroundings minus Q reversible by T, again it is also equal to 0. So overall delta S total will be equal to what? 0. Are you getting my point? Now here delta S system 0, delta S surrounding 0, and total entropy change is also 0. This is very very important. It is only for which process? Reversible process. Okay. Note, in a reversible process delta S is always 0. Delta S system is always 0. Delta S system is always 0. It is not true, because suppose if the system, instead of loss of heat energy, let's suppose if system gains heat, then we can write the plus Q. In that situation delta S system will be equal to plus Q by T. In that situation surrounding will lose the energy because system is gaining the energy. That means surrounding has to lose the energy. That means in a isothermal reversible process, the change in entropy of a system is always 0. It is not correct. It is always 0. It is in a reversible process delta S system is always 0. So delta S system is not always 0. Are you getting my point? Next, in a reversible process delta S system and delta S surrounding may be 0. In a reversible process delta S system, delta S surrounding may be 0. In a reversible process delta S system, delta S surrounding may be 0. So may be 0 means true. It is not compulsory 0. Are you getting my point? Maybe 0 is okay. Are you getting my point? Now here in a irreversible process. In a irreversible process means the process which occurs only in one direction. Okay, that means it is a spontaneous phenomena in a particular direction where the change in entropy become positive. Okay, let's suppose we have system at a temperature Q1. Let's suppose T1 temperature, system loses certain amount of heat energy Q to the surroundings where the surrounding temperature is T2. That means let assume T1 greater than T2 because system loses heat energy. So that means heat always flows from a high temperature body to a low temperature body. Now here you see what is the change in entropy of a system? Minus Q upon T1. Why I am writing the negative sign? Because system loses the heat energy. Okay. Now what is the delta S surrounding? Plus Q by T2. Q. Why? Because how much of heat energy system loses, that amount of heat energy surroundings accept. Are you getting my point? Only the thing is this is irreversible process. For such purpose I am changing the temperature here. T1, T2. When the temperature is difference is there, only the process become what? Irreversible process. That means heat flows from a hotter body to a colder body. Okay, that means heat flows from a system to surrounding because there is a difference in the temperature. Okay, now what will be the delta S total? Delta S system plus delta S surrounding. Delta S system minus Q1, delta S surrounding plus minus Q by T1, delta S surrounding plus Q by T2. So if you see the here, take the common Q, you will get 1 by T2 minus 1 by T1, and if you see the LCM T1 T2, you will get Q into T1 minus T2 by T1 T2. Do you know T1 is greater than T2? Yes. That means overall delta S total value you are getting positive or not? Delta S total value you are getting what? Positive. That means in a irreversible process, if you see the change in entropy become positive. Change in entropy become positive if the process is spontaneous. Because obviously heat flows from hotter body to a colder body. This is a spontaneous phenomena. Suppose if the T1 T2 if I am interchanging, okay, it is not possible because delta S value, then you will get the negative value. this is non-spontaneous process. Okay, now we are getting delta S total value. If the delta S total value 0, that is called what? Spontaneous. If it is equal to 0, then it is called reversible. If the delta S total value equal to 0, what? Reversible. If the delta S total value greater than 0, that is a irreversible process. Okay, so this is very important. If the change in entropy value, the total entropy change value equal to 0, reversible process, greater than 0, irreversible process. Okay, now here entropy is a state function. So how to calculate the change in entropy in a given process? Let's suppose I am taking the PV graph. Let's suppose system at a point A, now it is moving to at a point B through this path. Let's suppose what are the initial conditions of pressure, volume, temperature, P1, V1, T1, and final conditions are P2, V2, T2. So here P1, V1, T1, three parameters are maybe changes. Otherwise, if the temperature is constant, pressure, volume changes. If the volume is constant, pressure, temperature changes. If the pressure is constant, volume, temperature may changes. But we are taking pressure, volume, temperature, all these state variables. Here I am considering changing. Okay, change I am considering. Now ds is equal to dq by t. Okay, now what I am doing, delta S is a state function, entropy is a state function. So I am integrating the change in entropy. So the limits from A to B. So you will get a change in entropy of a system, delta S, integral dq by t. Okay, now here in the question dq value not given to you. Okay, so we have to take the dq value from the first law of thermodynamics. From the first law of thermodynamics, du equal to dq plus dw. This is called differential equation of first law of thermodynamics. So from here I need dq. dq is equal to instead of dw shall write minus pdv and bring the minus pdv to the left hand side. So you will get dq is equal to du plus pdv. Okay, so this is the main equation. Okay, after that one more relation, we know du is equal to ncv dt. And PdV nothing but here you see I am writing as it is PdV whole divided by T. Now we are taking the system, we are considering the system as a ideal gas. We are considering the system as a which gas? Ideal gas. So we have a ideal gas equation nothing but PV is equal to nRT. With the help of PV is equal to nRT, shall I write the pressure will be equal to nRT by V? So bring the nRT by V here. So temperature will be gets cancelled out. So finally you will get nR by V, dV nR by V. Okay, now here n is a constant, heat capacity at constant volume, that is a molar heat capacity. If it is 1 mole of ideal gas, it is also constant. Bring the NCV constant outside the integration, and we know integral dt by t nothing but ln t, upper limit t2 and lower limit t1. So ln t2 minus ln t1, ln of t2 by t1, log of a by b. And here also tt gets cancelled. Okay, and n is number of moles gas constant, r both are constant and they are kept outside the integration. So you have integral dv by v nothing but the ln x or ln v, upper limit v2, lower limit v1. So this is the final expression regarding the calculation of a change in entropy of a system. Remember, this is the only change in entropy of a system. Okay, remember this is a natural logarithm, that is the base e. To convert the base e into base 10, we have to multiply with 2.303. Are you getting my point? So these are the two important equations which we have to remember regarding the problem solving based upon the change in entropy of a system. First formula, delta S system will be equal to NCV ln T2 by T1 plus NR ln V2 by V1. And one more equation, delta S system 2.303 into NCV into log of T2 by T1 to the base 10 plus 2.303 into NR log of final volume of initial volume to the base 10. Okay, now what I am doing here, I am converting this volume in terms of pressure. We know from ideal gas expression, suppose if the initial pressure, initial volume, initial temperature P1, V1, number of moles are constant, temperature T1, and final pressure P2, final volume V2, number of moles are same, and final temperature will be T2. Okay, with the help of these two equations, shall write P1 V1 by T1 equal to P2 V2 by T2. Okay, Now instead of V2 by V1, what I am trying to writing here, P1 by P2 into T2 by T1. So after getting the P2 by V2 upon V1 value as a P1 by P2 into T2 by T1. If you expand this one, that means this is in the form of log AB. Do you know log AB? Log AB nothing but log A plus log B. Yes or no? So what is the log A here? Log A here nothing but P1 by P2 and log B nothing but T2 upon T1. Okay. Now here that ln T2 upon T1, n value constant, n value common. So bring the n value and ln T2 by T1. So you will get in the CV first term and R value here in the third one R value. So CV plus R. Do you know CP minus CV capital R? So here shall write CP equal to CV plus capital R. Okay. So in the next continuation, instead of CV plus R, I am writing the CP. Okay. So this derivation is regarding the heat capacity at constant pressure, and the previous relation regarding the heat capacity at constant volume. Okay. Suppose if the heat capacity at constant volume is there, then we have to take the V2 upon V1. Okay. If the heat capacity at constant pressure is there, then we have to take the P1 upon P2. P1 upon P2. Are you getting my point? Now this is this is the natural logarithm, that means base E. Now I am converting the base E into base 10 by multiplying with 2.303. So overall this expression is very important. If you remember this expression, that is the first this one and the next this one, so it will be very easy to calculate the change in entropy of a different processes. Okay, suppose in the question, let's suppose if it is isothermal process. Which process? Let's suppose isothermal process. In isothermal process, we know temperature remains constant throughout the process. So here T1, T2, what I am doing, cancelling. So here log 1 becomes 0, entirely this term becomes 0. Only this value you have for isothermal process, change in entropy. Otherwise, in this process also, if it is isothermal, T1, T2 gets cancelled, this value becomes 0. So this expression is regarding the change in entropy of a isothermal process if pressure is given here. Otherwise, if the volume is given, then we can use this expression up to here, because this value becomes 0, because T1, T2 gets cancelled, log 1 value is 0. Okay. Otherwise, if it is isochoric process, keeping the volume constant, if the volume constant, that means V1 is equal to V2. So V1, V2 gets cancelled, log 1 0, this term becomes 0. So you will get only this value. This is corresponding to change in entropy of a system at a constant volume, nothing but isochoric process. Isochoric process. Are you getting my point? So this is the main important reactions. Okay. We have to remember. Okay. Now here, let's see one by one. Isothermal process, just now I told you temperature is constant. So what I am doing, I am taking the starting delta S is equal to integral dq by t. I am writing the dq is equal to du plus p dv. Du nothing but ncv dt p dv. Now in this expression, if you see, this is isothermal where the change in temperature will be 0. So entire this term becomes 0. Okay. Now you will get p dv by t. So instead of p, nothing but nRT by v. So tt gets cancelled, nr. So bring the nr outside, integral dv by v, nothing but ln v, upper limit v2, lower limit v1. Are you getting my point? Otherwise, only you should remember this relation. You have to remember this relation. So this will be well and good. Okay. Because only in this expression T1, T2 gets cancelled, this term will be 0. Only you have this term. Okay. Now, otherwise, do you know what will be the work done in isothermal reversible process? Work done value nothing but minus nRT ln V2 upon V1. Okay. In isothermal reversible process. Now, what will be the delta U? 0, because temperature is constant. So what about the Q? Q equal to minus W. Q equal to what? Minus W. So Q reversible, shall I write minus of minus, that means nRT ln V2 upon V1. Okay. What is the delta S? Nothing but Q reversible by T. Yes, here TT gets cancelled. So the remaining nR ln V2 upon V1. So we can directly remember this formula also with the help of work done from the isothermal reversible process. Okay, so what is the final change in entropy of a system? Nr ln V2 upon V1. Here you see Nr ln V2 upon V1. Are you getting my point? Otherwise, we know from isothermal process, if the temperature is constant, so we know P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2. So instead of V2 by V1, shall I write P1 by P2? Yes, it is also isothermal process. Okay, now the second one, isochoric process. Just now I told you volume constant. If the volume is constant, that means here you see change in the volume 0. That means here dq nothing but du plus pdv. Here the change in volume 0, so this term will be 0. So you will have du by t, du nothing but ncv dt, ncv constant, bring the ncv outside the integration. You have integral dt by t, nothing but ln t, upper limit t to lower limit t1. So you will get this expression. Are you getting my point? Now, next to isobaric process, where the pressure is constant. When the pressure is constant, the heat exchange at a constant pressure, nothing but change in internal energy, change in enthalpy. Change in enthalpy del H is equal to what? Ncp del T. For a small change, dH is equal to Ncp dt. Yes or no? So this expression we are using. Okay. Now, in this what happens? N constant, Cp constant, bring them outside the integration, and integral you have dt by t, nothing but ln t, upper limit t2, lower limit t1. Okay, so this will be the change in entropy of a system when pressure is constant. If the pressure is constant, you will get here Cp. Okay, if the volume is constant, you will get here Cv. That is only the difference. Remaining 2.303 n log t2 by t1. Here also 2.303 n log t2 by t1 common. Okay, now adiabatic process. In adiabatic process, Q value what? 0. So what will be the delta S system? Q upon T. So Q value 0, 0 by anything 0. So delta S system will be equal to what? 0. Now here reversible process, I already told you the delta S system will be equal to delta S surrounding but opposite sign. If the delta S system value 0, obviously delta S surrounding is also 0. So shall I write here delta S surrounding? Delta S surroundings here also 0. This is only for reversible process. Remember this expression which I am writing in this box, it is only valid for reversible process, all reversible processes. Now come to adiabatic irreversible process. Let's suppose for all irreversible process, okay, for all irreversible process, delta S surrounding should be equal to Q surrounding by T. This is very important. This is applicable for all irreversible process. Now come to delta S system for adiabatic irreversible process, that will be NCV ln T2 by T1 plus NR ln V2 by V1. This is the general expression for calculation of delta S of the system. This is irreversible adiabatic process, change in entropy of a system. What is the change in entropy of a surroundings? That will be equal to Q surrounding by T. This Q surrounding by T is valid for all irreversible process. Okay. Now this delta S surrounding will be equal to minus delta S system. This is valid for all reversible process. Valid for all reversible process. Are you getting my point? So in the next class, we will going to discuss about the numericals regarding the calculation of change in entropy.